Hello and welcome to my channel. The UK is currently having a heat wave that we're not used to, so I thought I would put together the rest of this video from the comfort of my cool bedroom. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe and follow along with us. I bought Willow back in October 2015, and if you haven't seen my riding journey, then go back and check that one out. I'll try and link it up above here, because we weren't going to buy Willow. I was actually on the lookout for a palomino stallion, but the one we were going to buy fell through, so something kept drawing me to Willow's advert. But being a gelding, I wasn't really interested in buying him, but we decided in the end just to buy him, break him into ride, and then sell him on in the summer. So we went up and we viewed Willow, and our horse box was broken then, so the current owners of him brought him down to our yard that afternoon, and he was lovely. Palomino, 4 white socks, but he was extremely rude. You open the stable door, he would run straight out. He had no ground manners whatsoever. He was a coming 4-year-old, unbroken gelding that we can't find any history on him at all, so we don't think he'd done anything. So he was completely a blank canvas, really, which is what I like. I do like horses that haven't had anything done with them. So we got Willow and we were just doing bits with him, trying to get him used to the daily grooming, picking feet out. It wasn't wild, but you can see that he hadn't had consistent handling, so we're just getting him used to all that. And it was the end of the show season, but we'd found one more show that was running, so we decided to box him up in my friend's trailer and take him to one of the shows that was going ahead. So we took him there and he was really good. You know, he done well, and it was nice to just get him out, see what it'd be like in the atmosphere, and he wasn't fussed by anything, so just done what was expected of him. So we spent that winter just getting to know him, getting him to know us, and then we started to break him to ride and just doing the basics, leaning over, lunging, long reining, everything, getting on board. And he took everything in his stride. He wasn't fussed by any of it at all. Not a problem to break at all to ride. He was perfect. So the way I break them to ride is that they're backed, they're leant over, they're lunged, they're long reined, saddle on, they're leant over, and then I get on board, and then they're left. They basically, once I've got on board and I've established a walk and a trot with someone leading me, they're left then for a bit, usually about 6 weeks, but it depends about each horse. So we've done that with Willow over the winter, and then, as I say, he was just left. So it was coming back to show season again, March time, where we went then back out showing. And again, you know, this was his, we're saying he's like second in hand show. We can't find any results of him as a youngster, so we can only think that this is like the only times that he's been shown. But he went out in the in-hand ring, yet again, new show season, and absolutely smashed it. He was regularly getting first places, champions, everything. He was absolute dream of a horse to show. You could see even just then that the show ring was the place that he wanted to be. So whilst showing him in hand at a few shows, we're very lucky in the area that we live, that we have a hell of a lot of little local shows around us. So getting him out to some in-hand shows and rebacking him again, getting back on board, So we're just doing that for a few months. And at my yard, I haven't got electric, I haven't got water, and I haven't got a school. So it was one of the really wet winter years. So I was struggling to teach him the canter. The hacking that we have around ours is brilliant, but quite a few horse riders use it. So if it's a really wet year, the mud can get really slippery. It's not a place you want to break someone's canter hacking out, because then if they slip in the mud, they're going to lose their confidence and everything. And although now I have got a bark chipping area to ride in that's still not finished. I'm hoping by this coming winter it will be finished. It's still only about half full. But back then we had nothing. Only being able to ride in the field, and even that was too slippy to get the canter safely. So I sent Willow for 2 weeks to a friend of mine, so she could get on board. She's got a school. She could get on board then and get the canter for me. And I rode him. I went up there and rode a few times as well. So, but we're just getting the canter established for him. So he came back from my friend's yard on the Saturday. On the Sunday, we're competing him in hand at his first county show. And he done really well. Big atmosphere, tannoys, everything. And again, wasn't fussed one bit by him. So yeah, we took him to that county show, he done really well. And then on the Sunday, I took him hacking out for his first time. And again, not fussed at all. Still very rude and bolshy in the stable and with his ground manners, but the ridden work is really where you could see this was going to be his thing. He was absolutely amazing, and you could see already back then that his trainable attitude really was coming through. So we've spent the first summer of owning him just like getting him ridden more, doing some more in-hand shows and just getting him used to life. But the whole plan was he was now meant to be sold. So we were just trying to get everything fine-tuned, and still was to this day, the plan was to sell him. He was only meant to be bought to break into ride, sell the summer to have a bigger budget for the palomino stallion that I actually wanted. But my feelings towards him really was starting to change. You could see that he was something different. He was something else. So September 2016, just under a year of owning him, I took him to his first county show ridden, and we're against horses that have done it years, older horses. Just think, Willow's just 4 years old at this time, and he done absolutely amazing. Again, the big hustle and bustle of county shows, and I can't fault him at all. And this is when we decided that he was something else. He was going to teach me a hell of a lot. So we sold everything. We decided to, by this time we'd already bought Champ. But I had Alfie, Dodger, Magic. I decided to sell all of them. Because I just felt that Willow would take me further in my riding dream. We'd gone from the thought of, you know, he was meant to be sold, to now I was selling everything else and just keeping him and Champ. So he'd done absolutely amazing with his in-hand career. The first year of having him, and won so many sashes. It was absolutely amazing time with him. He was just doing fabulous. So won loads of sashes, went to championship shows, now done his first county show, and sold everything. So I sold all the horses and was just left with Champ and Willow at that time. Show season comes around again and I start doing more with Willow, but I decide to start trying more of the novice classes at the affiliated level, which again, he was doing really well in, but being, what's that now? I think he's coming 5-year-old now. He's still young, still green, but we were just going out there and trying, and done sponsored rides, had fun with him. And I decided to take him again to our local county show, ridden. He done really well. There was quite a few in our class, and he just took it all in his stride, done everything he was asked to, and I was over the moon with him. But I come out the ring and someone made a comment to me that my horse is amazing, but I let him down. By now, I've still not had riding lessons. I'm still a self-taught rider, and I got into county shows all on my own and still being placed. And I was over the moon with that. I'm always open to constructive criticism and ways I can help myself. So I'm actually really pleased that this person come and commented to me. So I took him back again to my friend's yard. She's competed Welshes at HOYS before in her younger years, so she's got some knowledge and some experience. So I took him back to there, and he was at her yard for about a month, and I went up and I had regular lessons then. These are the only riding lessons that I've ever had, but she's not a riding instructor. It was more about show ring experience, what I would be expected to do in the higher level show ring. And it was absolutely amazing time. Me and Willow learnt so much from her, and he was coming on so well. He was absolutely mega, so fit and responsive, and you can really see the talent coming through. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. It really will help out my channel to be pushed out further to like-minded riders like yourself. Thank you. So we just spend the next few months, after he's come back from my friend's yard, we spend the next few months just doing affiliated shows. I went to equifest and I come third in a class of about 40 people, and loads of them were producers. I'd done the open class and it was absolutely amazing. So come July 2017, you know, he'd only been back to about a year. I went and took him to our first Horse of the Year show qualifier, and we were placed, which was absolutely amazing to be at that level and being in the rosettes. It was brilliant. So we done that, and again just before winter I decided to turn him away. Again, he's done so well in the ridden, so I always let the horses have a break once we broke them in. So he was just turned away for the winter, just to let him chill and be a horse again. So in the beginning of 2018, brought him back into ride, just got him hacking again, got him fit. Decided that year take him to Royal Windsor, and again absolutely massive atmosphere, crowds, tannoys, everything. And again, it's just being placed. I think it was just me that was letting him down from getting the highest spot. But you know, I've gone from completely not being able to ride, not touching a horse till I was 16, to then doing local level showing and only going up the levels since I bought Willow. So it all moved quickly. You know, I bought him in 2015 and now at 2018, so well, less than 3 years, I'm doing HOYS qualifiers. So absolutely amazed with him. So we took him back to a county show where we won it. He went absolutely amazing, and we won our first county show, which was brilliant. But then it closes a lot of doors because we won prize money. It does close a lot of doors on what shows he can now do, which in a way is amazing. I've gone up those levels, so I've got no other places to go now other than some affiliated shows. Some county shows won't let us now go because we've won prize money. And so my next goals with him is Royal International, Horse of the Year show and Olympia, but that's a big dream. That's my step ladder that I want to go up. We were just having fun, going to more shows, just getting fitter and stronger, and I decided to take him to the Search for a Star programme, take him to one of those shows, just for the experience. They're HOYS judges that really can talk you through things. So I thought it'd just be such an amazing learning curve for him. And we qualified there. So on our first time out of the Search for a Star programme, we qualified to go for Your Horse Live. So I've done a few more counter shows with him. And then in November 2018, we went off to Your Horse Live, which again, completely different atmosphere. You're in an indoor school with crowds of people, tannoys, everything, and he went brilliantly. A bit spooky, but to be expected. He's still a young horse and has come up the levels so quickly, so I was over the moon with him. And then we were placed 4th, but the highest placed Welsh Section D, which was such an achievement. It was an absolutely amazing time. I learnt so much from doing that Search for a Star. Again, he had the winter off, a bit of downtime, not as long this time off, so then we brought him back up early spring to then get him out to do some dressage, get him fitter, stronger, ready to start the next show season, which we decided then that we were going to do the Royal International Qualifiers, and they're always really early on in the year. So got him out to a few of them, doing amazing. We kept being placed 2nd. It is only 1st place that does qualify, which is, you know, it's such a shame we kept hitting 2nd place, but we knew one day our time will come. Sadly, early May 2019, I'd taken Willow out hacking, same hacking that we'd done millions of times before. I can't say he slipped, tripped, nothing. Got home from hacking, put him in his stable, everything absolutely fine, no different thoughts at all. And just a normal day. I picked my youngest son up from school and I went back down the stables and pulled Willow out, and he was crippled lame. So we had an emergency vet visit out for him, and we had, as I say, I've got no electric at my yard, so we had to wait a couple of days for the swelling to go down anyway, and then we had to transport Willow to my vet's. Luckily, my vet's is actually on the same road as my yard, just a 5-minute drive up the road. So we managed to box Willow up and get him to my vet's so we could scan his leg to find out what was wrong. And he'd actually put a hole in his suspensory ligament, and he was hopping lame. The scan showed it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but he was clearly feeling the pain with it. So Willow had nearly a year on box rest. Not completely on box rest. To begin with, it was solid box rest, and then he went into a small turnout paddock, and we could then extend the paddock slowly. But this went on for nearly a year, that he had very limited turnout, and I had to hand walk him continuously. I can't count how many miles that we actually hand walked, but I would do anything for this horse. He's been amazing. So even if I could never ride him again, I was going to give him the best chance of recovery as possible. I bought all the magnetic boots, infrared boots, ice boots, everything we could do for that leg to help it, we did. We had shockwave therapy done on it, and he was progressively getting better, but we are talking a year down the line, a lot of time and effort, but he finally did come sound enough that the vet said I could get back on board and just build it up slowly. So that was the most amazing day to be able to get back onto Willow. So after all the recovery and the time off, we were back out showing him sort of early show season 2020, and we'd gone back straight in to do the Royal International Qualifiers. Not pushing him. I will never push Willow. He's done so much for me in my learning. I will never risk his leg. So we just went out there having fun, just gaining experience, and we were still, again, kept coming seconds in the Royal International Qualifiers. We keep trying, but the problem I have with them is, as I say, they're earlier on in the year, and having no school does make it really hard for me to keep the horses fit and in work through the winter. Wasn't aiming to qualify in 2020 really, because knowing that he'd had so much time off with his leg that he was unfit. He wasn't strong enough to do it, but I couldn't take him to the local shows. It was the only shows that I could get him to, and to get ring experience back again. We just wanted to get him out and about, and always, most of the affiliated shows are on a surface, so that again is better for his leg. And then COVID really hit and it shut all the shows down, didn't it? So work went absolutely mad, and I didn't have the time to really ride my horses as much because I was out caring for everyone else's horses. So they just had, by this time I'd also bought Gambler, so they just had nearly 2 years out of work with COVID. So 2021 consisted a lot of just getting the horses back fitter. Some affiliated shows hadn't started back up yet, so just went to whatever we could, done the local county show again, just building them up, getting fitter, doing whatever shows we could. And I went back to the Search for a Star qualifiers, and we qualified yet again to take Willow to Your Horse Live. So that was another amazing achievement. So we went back to there in November of 2021, and it was nice to be back at the level that I was competing at before he'd done his suspensory ligament. So just feeling like he was fit enough and strong enough. We done our class, and again we came 4th place, but it was brilliant to know that we were really at the level that we had left at. So hopefully it can only get better from here. So that brings us to this year, and we never done many qualifiers early on this year because I was waiting for a new saddle. I had ordered a new saddle for Willow to fit him and me. I've had longer flaps put on it and everything because I'm a tall rider. So it took quite a while for it to come. It's here now finally, so we can get out to some shows, but all the Royal International Qualifiers have already been done. So now we're into the HOYS qualifiers, which my ideal way of going, I want to qualify Royal International first, then HOYS. But I will never be ready for a HOYS qualifier show unless I put myself out there, get under the judges and learn what the judges want to see from us. So that's what we're doing. We're going to HOYS qualifiers. Willow still needs to get fitter and stronger, but I'm never going to rush him because of his leg. So we're just going to keep going, keep pushing on, and see where this journey takes us. But from a horse that I wasn't going to buy to now being my absolute best friend, has taught me so much in this short amount of time. I'm absolutely over the moon with him. So I'm hoping that this journey will just carry on and we will continue to have many happy years together. That's the end of this video. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Thank you.